Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Hope you had a great day. Today we're going to talk about God's grand plan, 1 Peter 1:13 through 16. 1 Peter 1:16 says, "You shall be holy, for I am holy." What an overwhelming command, but that is exactly what the Lord is committed to do in your life. Make us holy. His grand plan can be summed up in one word: sanctification. This is a 3-stage process by which he sets us apart for his purposes. Stage 1 occurs at salvation. When God declares us righteous, we are positionally holy. The second stage is progressively positioned in the growth as we become more holy in practice, desiring that we be conformed to the image of his Son. The Father is continually working to shape us in character, conduct, and conversation, 2 Corinthians 3:17 and 18. The third stage of sanctification is our ultimate perfection when we possess absolute holiness. Upon our physical death, when we are freed from sin, in our resurrection, our bodies will be made perfect. We will stand faultless and spotless before Christ. If we could just get a glimpse of what the third stage will be like, we would never moan and groan about the difficult sanctification process that we are enduring now. Our eyes would be focused on the goal, and our greatest motivation would be to glorify God by submitting to his transformation. And that was for me today. And I know whenever I talk to you guys, most of the time I'm talking to myself. So don't think that whenever I'm saying something that I'm talking to you guys, because most of the time when I'm talking to myself. Sanctification, that's a big word. To be set apart. Somebody said, I think it was justification. Justification is just as if you never sinned. So that's the first step. Salvation, just as if you never sinned. But sanctification is a lifelong process. You know, we're not perfect. We'll never be perfect until death, and we're caught up into heaven. And it's a process. And everybody's life is different. And when I talked about our gifts and our service and our tithing and our, everyone is different. Your gift and your service is going to be different than someone else's, because the gifts that God gave you are different than someone else's. I said, whenever I got saved and I got plugged into discipleship, my disciple was good at looking at me and saying, I think you would be good at, as a greeter on the, the team, the new members team, because we didn't have a lot of money. Now, those that have a lot of money, they can donate their time, their money, their but it isn't about money. I'm a people person. So that's where they plugged me in at. And it's funny because the other night somebody had asked me what church I was attending. I said, I'm not attending a church right now, but I do. There's a guy that I follow, and every day he does a a lesson, and if I don't catch him when he does the lesson, because it's 1 o'clock and I work, so I do it whenever I get home. And then he's thinking about doing Sundays, but he hasn't started it yet. So, and then I have my daily devotions and my prayer journaling, which that reminds me to message. Somebody asked me about my prayer journaling. But, everybody's walk with God, their devotion time is different because of where they are in their journey, where they are in their salvation walk. And, there's no fault in it. So Easter, was a time to celebrate. A lot of people call it Resurrection Day, because it was a reminder that whenever they went to the tomb, he was not there. And, the disciples didn't fully grasp, what was going on, that's what was really going to happen. So I hope you guys had a great Easter. I hope it was a time for you to remember what Jesus did for us. And there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. I don't think we have much time. So stay ready. Let's pray for our lost family members. And make sure you spend time with God every day. And if you have any questions, message me. I don't claim to fame to know the whole Bible, and if I don't have an answer, I'll get you an answer. But yeah, time is short. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.